Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Jerry Sarmiento, the full-time trader. Today is a beautiful Friday. More specifically, it's Friday, February 22, 2019, and we're almost a week away from the end of the month. I can't believe it. It's almost March. It's spring. It's already coming up. I can feel it in the air. And the time is flying. It's just amazing. But anyway, thank you for joining me. Today was a slow day, particularly a slow day for me. I had many other things to do besides trading, so I only did the early part of the day, maybe an hour after the market opened, and I only had one trade today, which you may find in minute 8 or 9, I think, of this video. You may want to fast forward and go straight there, or you may want to see the whole thing. This is like a 40-some minute long video, but I go through my entire discussion on what I do before the market opens, how I decide on my watch list, what do I look, or my stocks in the watch list, how do I set my entries, how do I set my targets, whether if I use a trailing stop, how do I pull that stop, etc., etc. So I hope you find it interesting, if not entertaining, and hopefully will give you some ideas on how to shape your own methodology and procedure when you do your day trading. So with that, let's move on. Follow me into the beginning of the day. Thank you again. Hello and good morning. It is Friday, February 22nd, 2019. We're about 20 seconds from market opening, and the excitement is here of the last day of the week. I have a few prospects on my watch list: MNKD, CSAN, SENS, BLNK, AOI, DBX, ACHV, XOG, and CASA. The market has just opened, so we're in business. We have some good news companies. Mankind, which is MNKD, has great medical news on the diabetes front. On the bad news, we have AOI. They missed sales and earnings. They have very bad guidance, so we expect that stock to drop. DBX has Dropbox has exceeded their sales and their earnings, but their guidance was bad. So we'll see what happens to that. Zizan, where is Zizan? Zizan has positive news on the migraine safety studies. They completed those studies, so that stock skyrocketed yesterday. SENS, SENS, had no news. This is a diabetes sensoring device company. There was no news on that, so we don't know why it's moving, but we'll find out what happens later. BLNK had no news either. ACHV had great news about smoking cessation drug trial. XOG had bad earnings, but exceeded the sales projection, so that's good news. And CASA exceeded both earnings and sales. So we have some good guys here to watch. The market looks like this. It opened gap up on all three of them: the Dow, the Qs, and the SPYs. They're all up. So we'll see how this goes. As you know, I don't trade the first 15 minutes after the market opens, so I'm gonna wait until my what happened there? Until my first 3 5-minute candles are full, and I'll come back then. Okay, here's somebody I'm watching is ACHV. We just passed the first 15 minutes.
Here's what I found on the web for HVA just past the first 15 minutes.
Okay, that was my phone, and I mistakenly pressed something. But anyway, we see let's see, I saw a big resistance at 350 19,000, 20,000 shares at 350, and that orange tomato line is the 200 MA on the daily, so that's a big resistance point. And of course 350 is a big resistance point also, but it looks like it's breaking it. It's breaking it, so we're gonna do ACHV. Let's see what the spread is on ACHV. It's a big spread, 363 to 360. Well, it's not big, but it's not comfortable. It's moving a lot. That's a 1 cent. That's sometimes 2 cents, 3 cents. Let's see how the thing continues moving. It obviously broke that resistance level. I see a resistance at 4, so let me do something here. The high is 379, so I'm gonna do a buy order at let me see, at 381. 381 stop limit. So I'm basically gonna put it on the advertisement side, meaning I'm putting a bid at 381. See if it continues moving. I would put my stop right underneath, probably. There you go. I just got triggered. I just got triggered at 381. Let me mark that. Excuse me. I got in at 381. As usual, I'm going to put my baby blue color to indicate my entry. And I'm going to be watching this carefully, because it may pull back. It may and it will pull back. Let me see, where is my resistance. I see resistance at 376. I mean, sorry, support at 376, 375. There's a lot of support in that area. 398 is a big, 398 and 4 are big resistance levels. Let's see how this goes. There was a good volume in here. Good volume. It is moving at 13 cents a minute right now. Let me see the 5-minute view. Okay. Let's be vigilant here. $3.94, $3.93. Let's see, the spread is 3 cents, 2 cents spread. I'm gonna place my stop loss at the low of that candle, which is 371. So let me put it there, 371. Let me mark it with red. It's 371. I see a lot of buying right now. A lot of buying at 95. These are the big blocks. 91. Okay, it's very volatile right now. 88, 89. Let's see if this thing stabilizes a little bit to give me a good up movement. I haven't placed my stop yet because I'm talking. Let me place it just in case. A stop loss at 371. Okay, I place my stop at 371. So I have a 10-cent risk right now. Let's see, this thing is printing at 87, 85, 89. Okay. Okay, here is the daily. That's a big move above that, all of that resistance. Although I have a big resistance right there, but that's far away. That's a 526, so I'm not gonna worry about that one. HACHV gave us great news on smoking cessation drug trial. So let's see how excited people are about this. I see big blocks moving, small blocks moving also. The spread is down to 2 cents, 1 cent, so it's stabilizing a little bit. It's starting to move up now. Let's see. I may start trailing this thing. 412, 415. Let me cancel my stop loss and move it up to 410. So 410, a stop market at 410. Okay, I'm trailing that at 410. Let me change my stop line to 410. That's to ensure some profits there. So that's where I am. Uh-oh, it's gonna stop me. No. Come on, baby. Smoking is bad. Oh, damn. It just hit me out. That's okay. I made 29 cents profit, which is not bad at all for a couple of minutes work here. So that's it for ACHV for now. I booked my profit on that one. It's probably gonna continue moving up, although if you look at the range is let me get my calculator here. The range right now from high to low is 421 to 272. That's $1.49, and its ATR is only 29 cents. So this thing has moved, let's say 30 cents. The thing has moved about 5 times its average true range. So this is huge, plus the big gap over here. That's tremendous. Let's look at it in the weekly. In the weekly you can't barely see it, so it's not that big of a move when you think of the big perspective. You know, Jesus, that stock has been up amazing. This is a biotech company, so biotechs, when they crash, they don't come back. If they crash because of an FDA approval or something like that, they don't come back. This one looks like it's been like in the $1,400. Maybe there was some kind of reverse split or something there, but it's been in 200s. That's on my weekly, so that's 2015, 2010. Look at that. That's a beast. But then it started coming down on the daily. We can see that this thing has been trailing down, but now with this news of that drug cessation trial had really spiked things up, at least for today. So look at that. It's hovering around the area where I got stopped out. We're gonna watch it. It may post a flag here, a bullish flag. We'll find out. So this is the 1 minute, of course. That's the 5-minute view. So this is an interesting one to watch. I'm already out of here, but ooh, look at that. It's strong. This guy is strong. The spread is 13, 2 cents, 1 cent. It has already moved 19 million shares today. It's a monster move. So we'll see. I'll keep monitoring. Let me see if there's anything else exciting. Oh, let me check out the market. The market is looking good. It's looking good. It opened gap up, and it looks like it's moving up. Let's check the this guy's industry. Let me put these things in the right place. This is a healthcare, biotech. Let me look at the sector: healthcare, biotech, biotechnology. It's moving okay. It's moving okay. Let's see. Geez, look at this. Malina Therapeutics, 347% up. So our guy is not a big deal. ACHV, which is, where is ACHV? ACHV is 128% up, but MLNT is out there. This today biotechs are doing good. I'm thinking of my 401k account, in which I have a big biotech mutual fund, so I'm happy when I see biotech moving. But anyway, it looks like there is some resistance up there. Let me see. I don't see any big blocks creating that resistance, but it's obviously not passing that area. Okay. Well, anyway, let me go hunt for a little while. I'll come back if I find something else. I'll be right back. Okay, here's an interesting thing to see, to appreciate. Casa, of course, is hard to borrow, so I can, well, I could short it if I do a locate and I pay a little money for a short, for location of a short. But Casa had positive earning report and positive sales, unless they had bad guidance. Oh, look at that. Casa, let me see, this is my news screen. Casa, Raymond James has downgraded Casa Systems. So it has Raymond James, William Blair, and Needham have downgraded Casa. EPS not compared to 37 sales, 250 versus 313. Oh, this is yeah. Guidance is not good. Quarterly earnings beat. Company by quarterly sales beat. So it beat on both sides, but not in guidance. Guidance number one is earnings. I mean, not number one, but I mean the first one to check is earnings. If earnings are bad but revenue is good, things are good. If earnings are bad, revenue is bad, and guidance is good, things are good. So guidance is a big guide to indicate movement, and obviously Casa gave bad guidance. So even though it beat earnings and sales, this baby is moving down. But again, it's a hard to borrow stock, so I'm not gonna pay for the pleasure of shorting it. Okay, let me go search for more stuff. I'll be back. Okay, so look back at ACHV on the 1 minute. That's the 5-minute view. But on the 1 minute, I obviously did the right thing by trailing it tightly. My original stop was, I would have hit my, no, it was down here, I think. Yeah, it was, oops, I moved my entry. Damn, which one was my entry? My entry was 381. So let me fix that. 381. That was my entry back when I entered, and my stop was, I think it was down here, right there. So it would not have hit my stop, but I would have been sweating bullets here of seeing profit and then coming back down. But this thing is it's strong. It's volatile though. It's very volatile. There's a lot of volume. It's almost 23 million. It's 23 million shares traded now. So it's moving. It's moving above VWAP, moving above opening price. So the only thing that would concern me is this big range. It's huge. Although it has had ranges like that. Look at that drop there. Look at that drop there. Big volume spikes here and there, big volume spike here. But I don't see anything bigger than that, substantially bigger. So I would think that maybe that's a resistance ceiling. There is a big block there at 415. So 415 is right there. So yeah, that's a big block of resistance. Okay, I'll come back and monitor that again. AAOI looks interesting. Let me see. AAOI is trading above opening price. Volume is 1,000,003. Nothing compared to ACHV, of course, but the what the heck, my Siri keeps triggering. I don't know why. Okay, I'll put my phone away from me. I was saying AAOI is it's pretty tight. The spread 32 to 33 is a slowing moving stock. This one is moving at 13 cents per minute. The volume is of course smaller than ACHV. AAOI is let me see. AAOI is it's a small float stock, only 18.8 million shares out there. So this thing could violently move in one direction or the other if something happens. But amazingly enough, they had bad sales, bad earnings, and bad guidance, and that was yesterday after the closing of the market. They issued their Q4 report, 4Q report, and they had everything was bad, nothing looked good. Guidance, sales, and earnings, and that resulted in this big drop from yesterday, from closing around 14.6 to 13.04. So that was a big drop. However, it has been steadily climbing from there, recovering from there. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Let's see what this one goes to. If it keeps going up, I don't know. On the daily, it's a pretty nice range. It's underneath. It opened. It's interesting. It opened underneath that big resistance. Support level at 1388 or so, maybe 1380. It opened under the daily moving average. That's the 50 and the 20, and of course the 200. So this thing should have continued dropping, but it didn't. It's moving up. AAOI is a technology sector semiconductor. So let's see what technology sector semis are doing. They're flat, completely flat. And this guy is recovering from all the way down after bad news to up here. So very interesting. In the 30 minutes, we see that they will hit some support there, and it bounced from there. This is the pre-market. AOI, very interesting guy. I'm not gonna touch that guy. There is some resistance up there. There's a lot of resistance there. Let's see here, any big blocks? No, the only one I see is 1449. I don't see anything major. A lot of gaps. There's not a lot of activity. Oh, look at that. The spread just opened up from 1433 to 1437, 4 cents spread. So I'm gonna pass on this one. Look at ACHV. ACHV started moving up again. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I miss this baby. I should have. Well, it's never that the word I should have is shouldn't be in your vocabulary, But there's obviously some resistance up there. The rational thing would have been to place a limit order above that resistance area, but you know whatever. I took my profit. The volume is crazy. It's 26.7 million shares right now. So, okay, I'll come back in a couple. Okay, this is another interesting stock, SENS. There were no news. This is a diabetes sensoring, I think it's a device. Let me see, Sense, SENS. It's medical appliances and equipment. Yep, that's so it is diabetes. Oh yeah, I remember now. It's an implant that monitors your blood sugar on an ongoing basis. But there's no news on them. There's absolutely no news. So why is it moving? I don't know. But the thing is, it gapped up and it started moving down to close that gap. It pretty much closed it now. But let me see. I was gonna say something. Oh, yeah. Yesterday, look at that. Look at that candle. That went from 231 to 277. It looks bigger than that when you compare to the previous day. So it's not a lot, but it's enough. It's a big candle. This is. Let me see. This is it's medium size, 131.7 million shares outstanding out there. But the point is that a lot of buying happened, and today it opened up here around 293, which was a resistance level. So it opened right around there. So what did people do? Anybody that had bought yesterday, they are collecting their profits, even though it's little, from 271 is 20 cents. So everybody's collecting profits, selling. The trend, the overall trend on the day is down. However, it looks like it's breaking that downtrend. Let's see. Where it looks like it's breaking that downtrend. It consolidated for a little while on the daily. This is all daily stuff, and it broke yesterday, and today continued up, but profit-taking movement. Of course, there is big resistance level right there. I see blocks. Let me see, what blocks do we see here? Big ones. 281, a big block. 281, 283, another big block. 287. So in the 280s, there is a lot of resistance in the 280s to 290s. So that's where we are right now. That's why this thing basically opened up and hit that resistance and started like trading down. It is trading underneath opening price, underneath VWAP right now. But I don't think I'm gonna touch it. Is it shortable? Yes, it is shortable. I don't see a pattern. Let me see. There's a little area of support right here. If it breaks it, which is around 270. Let me see what's in support area. Support. There is a lot of support at 274. There is a big chunk at 265. So right here, there's a big chunk of support. So in theory, there's about 10 cents travel distance between there and there, but I wouldn't enter it right now. I would enter it right underneath here, so that doesn't give me too much of a window. There's another big chunk at 260, another one at 258. So this is kind of iffy. I don't see a clear pattern here. Let me see. Let me map something out here. This, if anything, this thing looks like it's going to move up, like reversing here all the way up to VWAP. So we'll see. It's not the right time to touch this guy. Okay, I'll come back with more if I find more. Okay, I'm back. It's been a few hours since last time I was in front of my computer. It is now 13:31, which is 1:30 p.m. after lunchtime in New York. And I had to go do some things. I had to go open the door for a plumber at the restaurant to take care of one of the drains. So I haven't looked at the market in quite a few hours. Then from there, I went to the gym to do my routine. It is Friday, so it's a relaxing day. I took one profit already, which makes me happy today. And I may leave it there, but I'm going to review all my watch items here. Interestingly enough, Mankind, who is medical device company, it broke above that line of that clear line of resistance. However, the volume is not that great. It's 2.3 million at 1:30 in the afternoon, so it's probably not gonna go anywhere. That's where it is on the 30 minutes. It's developing a topping tail, so it may pull back into that range. So we'll see. But I'm not interested in this one. The spread is close enough, 1.54 to 1.55. It's moving at 0.8 cents a minute, so it's very slow moving stock. Zizan, let's see, this one is the one that jumped up yesterday on the big news about the completion of their migraine safety studies, and I already covered that one before in my commentary. This one came all the way from being a huge expensive stock to where it is now. So, but anyway, it's moving sideways and right underneath VWAP, underneath the opening price, above that support. So I expect this thing to continue moving like that for the rest of the day. It's moved 8 million shares. The spread is tight, but I'm not gonna touch that one either. SENS, that's the one that we didn't have any news. It's diabetes sensoring device maker. Yes, implant maker. It's been trading under the VWAP. It's getting closer to VWAP now, developing a channel here, a consolidation channel. On the 30 minutes, I don't see anything exciting. It went up to that resistance level. It came back down to test support. It broke it. It may go back up to test resistance again. This thing is probably going to consolidate and continue moving sideways. On the daily, we see that it broke up from that downtrend line. There is a big line of support right here, but it's hovering around that line of resistance and this line of resistance. So nothing exciting on this guy. We're gonna move on. BLNK. What did we say about BLNK? BLNK had no news and is doing absolutely nothing. 1.4 million shares traded today. That's very low volume at this time of the day. It broke that line of support, which is an uptrend line. It broke it to the downside and is trying to test it again, but it's moving at 0.9, less than 1 cent a minute. That's not an exciting stock to even look at. AAOI, which is optical device company. let me see, what's the apply optoelectronics technology sector, semiconductor. Okay, that had news, bad sales, bad earnings, bad guidance. This is the guy that they should have stayed down here, but it moved up, closed the gap, and has been, just moving up. There is, let me see, kind of a sloping uptrend. Not that great. This is a channel. If we see it from this perspective, it's a well-defined channel, so it's probably going to be moving around there. It's moving at 3 cents a minute, 3.3 cents a minute. Yes, slow moving guy. 2.7 million shares. If we enter that, we're going to spend the rest of the day just watching the screen, so there's no need to do that. It has been trading above the opening price, above VWAP, so it's probably going to continue moving up, but I wonder in which way. It's probably going to go there and then come back down and then stay within that channel. On the daily, it did come back from opening underneath that line of support. Let's move on. Dropbox had big news as far as exceeding sales and earnings expectations, but the guidance was very poor. So people were not excited about that, even though they beat earnings and sales. So it opened gap down. You can see that on the daily. It opened gap down big time in between the 20 and the 50 moving average. So in this area, that's like a land of nobody. So I'm not doing anything. Well, it stays there. On the daily is trading underneath 200 moving average. When it breaks above, maybe it is going to be an interesting play, but not today. It gapped down on the news. It has been trading underneath the opening price. It's been hovering around VWAP, so I expect that will continue like that. ACHV, this is the one we made our little profit, and it was little. It was 29 cents, but hey, it's a Friday, a relaxed day, can't complain. ACHV, they had great news about a drug on the smoking cessation trial, and I entered it here in the blue at 381. And then let me see where I did it here at 381, and then I moved my stop loss up here, and when it retraced, it stopped me out, and that's how I made my 29 cents from 381 to 410. Okay, and they continue moving down, and it moved back up again. That's a moment in which you say, oh my god, why did I get out? But why would you not get out? So it moved up, and then it's been just hovering around VWAP for a while, and then broke down finally, still above the opening price, but nothing exciting. It did move a lot of volume, 58 million shares so far today, so that's great, and it's moving at about 5 cents a minute, so it slowed down quite a bit. Earlier today it was moving at a better rate. What is this? Probably like 17 cents a minute or 18 cents a minute. So that was much faster moving. If you remember, when I was looking at this, it was quite volatile. The spread kept opening up and closing down and opening up and closing down. So it was volatile time. That's why another indicator for me to get out, because I didn't want to stay there and suffer, the big swings. So I closed it out. I took my profits, and that was it for ACHV. XOG, XOG, what did they do? They had bad earnings report, but positive on sales, which is good news in the market. It opened gap up, and it did tremendously for the first few minutes, and then before the 5 minutes were up, the first 5 minutes were up, it started declining. By the time I look at my chart, the first 15 minutes, it was around here somewhere. And then it just hovered in between opening price and underneath VWAP, then broke above VWAP. That's what it looks like right now. It's moving at about 2 cents a minute, so slow moving. It moved a decent amount of shares, 9.5 million shares so far at 1:42 in the afternoon New York time. Nothing exciting here. There was a big resistance up there. That's why this didn't excite me too much, even though it opened above 50 and 20 on the daily moving averages. There was this big line of resistance up there, which is 504, that one over here. That's why, going long was not a good idea, and going short would have been the better idea, but I didn't do it anyway. It would have been short-lived. By the time I got into the market was 15 minutes later, so it would already have made its move. So for me, it was nothing to do here. Casa, what do you say about Casa? Had positive earnings and positive sales. However, it opened gap down on the 30 minutes. We see that it's doing a U-turn. On the daily, it opened underneath that big line of support, so that would have indicated me that this would continue dropping, and it did, but right now it's turning around, hovering around VWAP, so nothing is happening here. And finally, CBLK did 2.7 million, so that's not a lot of volume. It's moving at 2 cents a minute, hovering around VWAP and around opening price. Not very exciting either. On the daily, it opened underneath that line of support, but there was another line of support right under that, from like a $1 difference between the two lines of support. So there was not a lot of space, although here it looks like there is a lot of space. It's just that piece here, and it's hard to catch any action in there. What's the market looking like? This is the market as of right now. The Dow is moving sideways pretty much, as well as the Qs and as well as the SPYs. There is a line of resistance up there, the 279 line. Next week it may be an exciting week. We'll see if it breaks above that resistance line. Let me see what the daily looks like. If it breaks that resistance line, things may get exciting. There's another line of resistance right ahead of it, but that's enough space to make it an exciting week. And then we move all the way up to 286 and then 293. This looks like a pretty nice strong trend, a V movement. So next week may be an exciting week. Okay, so that does it for me. I don't think I'm gonna do anything else today. It's Friday afternoon, February 22, 2019, and I'm done for the day. I'm gonna shut down my monitors and go do some meditation, I guess, and then enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Okay, we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you again. Bye.